After waiting a long time, I actually got some useful stuff for the A7R5, and I'll explain that in a minute. Let's actually open this up. So here it is. Now what happened is I actually was trying to get a cage for my A7R5, and this is it. But I had to order this twice because the Amazon driver kept putting this at the wrong address. I don't know why. After a couple of times, they kept sending it to me until I had to start reordering because they couldn't do that anymore. So I don't know, sometimes things happen. So here we are. I'm actually gonna open this up. Now I'm already too excited, and I have already been shooting with this camera. Right now, we're actually seeing on the camera here, we are shooting 4K 24 FPS. So try to keep it a little bit cinematic. Here we are. Now cage is important, but I've never actually used a cage ever in my life. Now I've got the Best Buy Total Protection, and now I even got a cage, so I'm being pretty careful with this camera. I hope this thing lasts. So let's actually open this up. We've got two parts. Now this one is actually a little bit special because I actually got one before and that didn't fit because it was actually not for this camera. Yeah, so you know, check your compatibility, but this one is specifically for this camera, so this should just work out. So let me just show you guys, you know, what we got here. So we've got a lot of spots to like just screw stuff in. So we've got a multiple of that on top, on all sides. And we've got multiple mounting points. This is where the battery would go, so it's very easy to not mess up. You know, it just gotta match the shape, and the rest of the camera should just fall in. Got the quarter mount here on the bottom. This is where we would like kind of secure the camera with this. And another thing I really like is the quarter screws here. So even though we're gonna be mounting this cage on, I really like how we can still put it on a tripod, and we can still put this on other devices like a gimbal or pretty much anything, honestly. Really like that option because I actually got one that had a plate and then like it was a quick release with the belt thing around your neck, but yeah, it didn't have like another screw, and I couldn't like put it on a tripod or anything, so that was pretty useless. So make sure you guys look for things like this if you are planning to put it on a tripod, unless you're doing photography. That's a different story, but again, you do need to put it on tripod sometimes, right? So I'm not really expert on that, but yeah, you guys know what to do with that. But we've got an Allen key here, which would help us do things on this mount. And I like how this thing is actually stored on board, which would help us with, you know, any kind of work that we need to do on the fly. Pretty cool. And then this piece is actually a separate piece. Now this piece is actually like a handle. Because I'm actually going to be using this as a film camera, as a video camera most of the time, I'm going to be needing a handle to kind of like, you know, hold it, guide it. And since this has pretty good stabilization, probably not going to be even using a gimbal. So, you know, this having a handle is going to be very helpful. And, you know, with all these mounts, I really hope I can, you know, mount my DJI mic and everything, you know, properly. So let's actually get this installed and show you guys how this works on my other camera. And we're actually back. So this is the camera, and this is kind of, you know, what it looks like when I shoot with it. So I'm actually gonna just fold everything down, disconnect the camera, the mic here with the camera, and then we're just gonna mount everything up and then go from there. So I'm gonna have to take this tripod mount off too. I kind of like these quick release mounts, by the way. Like, you know, this tripod actually came with two. I don't know where the other one is, but I do have it. And this tripod is like maybe 7-8 years old. So that is pretty important because I can actually have this thing mounted in two cameras, and then I can always swap them out pretty easily. Pretty cool. Anyways, let's actually get back to what we were doing. So keeping the battery here on this side, we're gonna try to like put this in. Okay. I think it goes like this. Just don't force anything. Never ever force anything. You never know if you're doing it the right way. So make sure you take your time and try to do this gently as possible. Okay, so yeah, sits pretty good. I'm just gonna tighten this up and then show you guys how this looks. So let's tighten this up to make sure that we're actually mounted with the quarter mount nicely. Okay, I've tightened it up all the way using the Allen key that was given. Now we actually have two Allen keys. Now this is something I forgot to show you guys last video, but this little piece here would basically dismount these pieces that, you know, from the actual rectangle. So, you know, this is that in case you need to. Now this doesn't mount on the body of the cage because this is something that you would dismount the whole thing with. And this is something that you need because, you know, you might want to take the cage off. Wait, hold on. This is actually magnetic, so this is held, you know, magnetically. I just noticed that. Pretty cool. So, you know, now we have the cage on already. It was that easy. Just one screw and the entire cage is on. So as you can see, we are pretty well protected on the sides and everything. That is pretty nice. And we even have space for the strap that goes around the neck. Pretty cool. Not bad at all. And then now we're actually going to put this piece on because this piece is pretty important. So we're going to put it on. I'm just thinking maybe we wouldn't even need the thing piece. Okay, so now we are just going to tighten this down, this knob, and we're good to go actually. So it's pretty solid, and this thing made the camera a little bit heavier, but I'm kind of confident now, like a lot more confident than I was. Because of the cage here, I'm not going to be able to see the mic screen as I used to. So we're going to basically have to utilize the side one here or the top one here. Oh, 5 places. So we've got a bunch of places to actually put this on, but I'm going to put it on, you know, just for the sake of simplicity. I'm going to put it on here on the side. So it's pretty close to the camera and the screen, so I can, you know, always see it without, like, you know, looking around too much. There you go. But it does interfere with this piece here, so I'm not gonna try to stress that too much. Perhaps I could put it here. You could actually put this like in different ways. So let me actually disconnect this, making too much noise. We can basically take this piece off that kind of mounts to the mic here, the DJI mic, and then we can mount it in like different ways. So let's try this way, which would be the opposite way, and maybe we can mount this the other way. No, it actually has to be just this way. So okay, interesting. So here we go. We're gonna take this thing. If I want this thing to face like me, then I would have to put it here, which becomes pretty awkward, but I can always change the orientation of this, which would be... So unfortunately, this mic is a little, like, it fits exactly on the spot here, which could be a good thing, and it could also be a bad thing, because if I'm running around with the mic and everything installed, I might be having some interference because it would like touch the mic and everything. And another thing is this just slides right out. It doesn't really hold the actual mic properly. The receiver here, see, it just like slides back and forth. That is like a really dumb way to lose this thing. So let me actually try this thing here. Okay, this thing is much more secure, so maybe I'm actually doing this wrong. Maybe I'm not even supposed to put this here. This is probably for something else. But if I put it here, then it becomes awkward for me to hold it because it's just on the way. Perhaps I can put it this way here. There you go. I actually found the best spot. So I'm just going to put it just like this. The screen of the receiver would face the way of the lens. And even if I like hold on to the handle and everything, I'm still seeing the information in the front, and on top of that, I'm also not getting this on the way, and you know, I'll have more space for everything else. So I'm just gonna put this cap back on the camera because I don't need this place anymore for anything. So I'm just gonna put this on gently and tighten this up. It is always a good idea to, like, you know, start slowly with any threads because you don't want to cross thread things. And if something is like getting too hard to handle, it's probably wrong. So never force anything in. This here is like a pressure mount here, so you would basically, like, you know, squeeze something in here and like it would just be stuck there. Pretty cool. That is there. We have that option. Other than that, I guess we're mounted and everything. Look how many mounts and stuff we got here. It is infinite amount of possibilities that you could put like so many things on this thing. It's pretty cool. Really like this cage system, honestly. I got this idea from actually my college because all the cameras they use, they've got like these cages on them. Even if you drop it, there's just so many contact points that is protected unless I'm like throwing it this way or the Yeah, I think I would damage through it the front way because the lens is actually kind of sticking out, even though this is like the prime lens. But other than that, like, you know, it usually falls like this way, right? So it would be kind of protected, but you got to try your best to not. All the doors work pretty fine. The camera, the battery door here is cool. The SD card door here is pretty good. Everything else is very functional, same way that it is that I would use it for. And this is pretty raised up, so you know, all the buttons here are very easily accessible, even though they're under this thing here. So there's just enough space that I can actually, like, you know, go through and use all the buttons like I used to. So no interference there. But overall, honestly, I think this is definitely a nice, you know, piece of thing to have. And I think it's a must-have item if you have the A7R5. I really like how they actually wrote A7R5 on the corner there. You know, I don't know if you can see right here on this corner. Definitely, you know, like that. It embraces the name of the actual camera, and we can definitely show that off. Pretty cool. And one more thing I wanted to show you guys is this knob here that connects the handle on top. You could actually tighten it a little bit more just by putting in a screwdriver or even the provided Allen keys. Just, you know, put it in there and use this as a leverage to tighten it up. I would use the thicker one because it just would work better, give you more leverage, but I'm basically in all the way. So yeah, pretty cool, pretty sturdy. I'm definitely happy with this purchase. So here it is. If you guys do like this product, it'll be in the description. I'll have the link there. And thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.